Hi, Victoria here from the Bookkeeper Hub, HBA and Compass, and of course author of Zest for Success. Today we're going to have a chat about social media, and in particular social media groups. So our last couple of sessions we've been talking about Facebook and LinkedIn. Now the logic that we're going to talk about today is exactly the same whether you're talking about LinkedIn or Facebook's. In both streams of social media there, you are able to create a group. Now, a group is something that you can invite people to, or they can find by themselves by searching, and it's an area where people of like-minded interests hang out. Now, there's different types of groups, particularly in Facebook. I'm not so sure about LinkedIn, but you can have a closed group or an open group. So to put that in perspective, an open group is something that anyone can join. So for instance, I live on the Sunshine Coast and there's a Sunshine Coast Classifieds group. I can join that and I can scroll through and find all kinds of goodness to buy or sell. It's basically like Gumtree, but it's on Facebook. A closed group would be, for instance, the one that we have for the Bookkeeper Hub Fix-It clients, where people who subscribe to our service can join our Facebook group and we can interact online. So you can create a group for yourself, for people of interest in your industry, or for potentially keeping a group of your clients together. But more importantly, from a marketing point of view, you need to look at groups where you can add value and you can become the key person of influence. Now that sounds a bit harsh and a bit self-promoting, but even in Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups, it still comes back to that adage that I say day in, day out. We're not trying to get people to marry you on the first date. We're trying to build rapport. We're trying to build a tribe, and so that when you do potentially have a sell or something in the group, or someone is looking for your service, they will come to you. So a prime example of that is that as an accountant and a bookkeeper and an author of a business book, business people are my target audience. So I'm a member of the Queensland Business Facebook group. Now that is a closed group. You have to join, and then the administrators of the group, I suppose, check you out to make sure that you're a real person, and then they let you join that group. Now some groups love multi-level marketers. Some dislike them with a passion. I'm not going to say good or bad against it, but just make sure that whatever group that you do join, make sure you read the rules of the group. Usually when you go to a group and they let you into their group page, you can go in. I know on my phone I can get on the left-hand side of my Facebook and see the groups that I'm in. There is a Facebook app for groups that you can actually download on your phone and just check into your groups. In my situation, I run a Samsung phone, and it comes up with numbers like your normal Facebook notifications, which lets you know how many different conversations are going on. So I can check that in the morning or in the afternoon and see which groups got a lot going on, and go in and see if I can add value. And a lot of groups actually have rules regarding no advertorial content or no blatant self-promotion. They also have, some of them have different days where they have different things that you can do, like Top Tip Tuesday or Accountability Monday. So if you are going to post, make sure that you've got something, if they do have those type of rules, that relates to whatever the day is. So for instance, Top Tip Tuesday in the Queensland Business Group, I may go in and put a video there with something, the top tip for a business owner. The other thing that you do in groups, particularly if they're groups of your interest or your potential client's interest, is to make yourself interesting and make yourself valuable. So where people have asked questions, because that's one of the great things about groups, is people can ask for questions or recommendations, that you go in and you answer truthfully. You never sledge anyone, you never say anything rude. Social media, you never put anything on social media that you wouldn't say face to face with your grandmother, is my rule. So you go in and you try and become engaged with the people. So if there's a question about how do I do this, or I want to do this but don't know how, and it's something that's in your field of influence, then go in and give some some instruction. If there's someone else who's already given some instruction and you have a different opinion, you can put the opinion in, but you don't bring down the person who said something different. You just go in and say, Peter said this, the first part of what he said is correct, but I've always found it easier to do X, Y, Z. Whatever it is that you're changing the comment, or even going in and supporting the person who said something if you agree with them. So Peter might have got in before you because in groups it's a bit of I suppose a race to the comment, if that makes sense. But you want to do that without spending your whole life on your phone on social media. You've got work to do, hopefully. So go in and Peter gave a comment on what it is, and you go in, I agree 100% with what Peter said, contact that person or whatever it happens to be. And it's also about referrals. So, for instance, in one of the groups the other day, someone was asking a question about IP, about trademarks. And my first comment thought is, well, you know what, I know a little bit about them, but I'm not a specialist in that area, but I know someone who is. So it's about referring. So my comment was, speak to Jeff Moller. Now, because Jeff Moller is a friend of mine on Facebook, it comes up as a bolded name, but it means that he then gets a notification that he's being talked about. So he can then go into the group and say, oh, hi, Mary, I saw your post, and give the valuable information. And usually in something like that where people's asking for a referral or some help, you can put, oh, hi, Mary, here's the information you're after. If you need more help, contact me. You can put your contact details in, or you can ask them to give you a personal message. And that way you can, I suppose, take the person out of the group to potentially close a sale, or to be able to help them within your business. And sometimes, yes, you've got to give some stuff for free, but the goodwill and the rapport that you get, it means the other members in the group know who you are, and the more that you are able to give or to help people, the more referrals you're going to get. So treat these sources, if they're external groups, as an extended marketing team that you want to get the core people that are there to know who you are and refer you. Now, back to that Queensland business group, there's 2,500 or 4,500 members in this group. But when you go in, the people who are commenting on a regular basis are all the same people. And they become your raving fans. They can recommend you at all times. So LinkedIn groups and Facebook groups work exactly the same way. It's a matter of being there, being present, taking part, giving, and not necessarily expecting to receive, but giving with the hope that down the track, if you are there and you are constantly helping people, that karma will come and some referrals will come your way. So that's all I've got for you today about Facebook and LinkedIn groups. I suggest that you get out there and have a poke around in Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube that I spoke about the other day, but get out there. But the only last piece of advice that I've got is just be careful. Don't spread yourself too thin. So perhaps think about which of these social media channels is the one that you know, or the one that you want to be involved in, where you think more of your potential clients will be. Learn how it works and work it well. Okay, tomorrow we're going to talk about some of the other social media networks that aren't so well known. I am going to refer to my book a little bit because I don't use them, but it's more to give you an overview of some of the main ones that are out there. So I'll see you on the other side.